So in our last two projects, we modeled our cup here in 3D and then we rendered it. For this one, what we need to do is add our artwork, and then we're going to project our artwork onto the cup so we can see what it actually looks like. So for this, we're going to go back to top viewport. Or actually, let's start in perspective. Sorry. And let's change it back to shaded. So what we need to do first off is we need to unroll the outside surface of our cup. So I'm going to click on the outside, and the command is going to be unroll SRF. Hit enter. Now when we do that, I want explode equals yes up here in the command line. And I want to make sure I just have the outside selected. When I do that, we'll hit enter. And what we can see it does is it adds the two different sides of the cup. I don't know why it splits it into two, but it does. So the two sides, and we have the bottom. So now we're going to switch into top viewport. And I'm going to get rid of one of these and get rid of one of these. There we go. And I'm going to move that over, and I'm going to rotate this so that I have it in the same orientation as the cup, so that for now I'm working with things as I'm viewing them. So we'll go rotate, enter, click here, click there, make sure I have ortho turned on so that I can snap that down just like so. Now within here, we need to create our artwork. Now when we create our artwork, sorry, I had this on the wrong layer. There we go. When we create our artwork, we want to make sure that we create it on our artwork curves layer. We want to keep our curves separate from everything else because in the end, when we engrave this, that's the only thing that we want visible, and it just makes it a little bit cleaner. Now, for the sake of time, I've already gone and I've vectorized some artwork. So we can either vectorize something, we can create something from scratch, we can use a DXF or another file already, and we need to get this to fit within here. So I'm going to move that over, and I'm going to have to obviously scale this down. And there we go. So we've scaled it. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to center it on this one. So we'll use align and concentric. There we go. Okay, so I have my artwork now that is on here. And its size. So this will fit on half of the cup or less. What we need to do so that we can visualize it is we need to extrude this. We need to turn this into three-dimensional extrusions. So I'm going to switch and make my artwork 3D layer active, and the command is going to be extrude CRV. And we'll hit enter. For this one, I want both sides equals no, solid equals yes, delete input equals no, and I'm going to set my extrusion distance to 0.005. We don't need to extrude it much, we just need it to be in 3D. And we'll hit enter. Okay, and now I'm going to turn off my curves layer so that I don't mess with that at the moment. And I'm going to go back to perspective view. Let's zoom in a bit. There we go. So what I need to do now is take this and put it on here. So before I do that, I'm going to group that together just so I don't accidentally move something that I don't intend to do. And I'm going to turn on, down here in the bottom, record history. What that allows me to do is sometimes, if I pick the wrong side or I get things in the wrong place, my artwork over here will be kind of weird, but I can go back and change it here, and it will change it in real time on the cup. So record history on, and our command is going to be flow along SRF. So flow along SRF. And I already have my stuff selected, so it says base surface. Base surface is going to be this surface that we drew our artwork on. Now for this one, what I like to do, we have this line here which tells us the surface. I like to click down towards the bottom of that line, and then it says target surface, select near matching corner. So we didn't pick a corner, we picked this spot, but we want to find something that matches. Typically, when we unroll the surfaces on these cups, this part here is one half, and then the other side is the other half. So I should be able to click close to this vertical line right here, and we'll give it a second. And there we go. So it put that on there. Now, if for some reason it came in backwards, that would mean that the surface that we selected is actually the back side of the cup. Or if we click in a different spot, it might have rotated it. But because we had record history on, we can go and modify that. And we can see that it modifies it in real time. Without record history, we would have to delete that and redo it. Yeah, I like the way that looks. Okay, so we flowed that on there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our rendered view. And right here we can see we've got the RAM on there. It's all in white. So I'm going to select it. I want my group selected. Go to my Materials tab. And find where I have my stainless steel material, so right here. So with this selected, I can click on the metal, go to Assign Objects, and now I've made this. So if I like how that looks, which I think this looks pretty good, we can take a screenshot and we can submit that. If I don't like how this looks, I can go and I can modify the curves, re-extrude them, and then do the flow along the surface again. So that's how we create our artwork, put it on our surface, our unrolled surface, sorry, and then project it to our cup.